Want to become an elite level athlete? Well, look no further. The Reclaim Your Throne Elite D1 training course is all you need to take your performance from subpar to the creme de la creme of athletes all around the world. The purpose of this course is to give you a comprehensive weight training, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance program that is meant to prepare young athletes for collegiate and professional sports. This course is packed with over 2 hours of creative, action-packed lifts narrated and coached by yours truly to assure increased strength, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance. Hey, I get it. Training alone can be tough and can even make you feel misguided or somewhat unmotivated. But with this course, I walk you step by step through each and every lift to make sure you're using the proper form to prevent injuries and that you're hitting the correct muscle groups to render maximum results. So what are you waiting for? It's now or never. So go ahead and get the training course today so you too can reclaim your throne. What's good, Throne, coming at you with another crazy video, but my goal is to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. You already know. Reclaim your throne. So guys, we have to talk about this Tyler Perry situation. But before we do that, I actually have to get the Rumble stream live because y'all know technical difficulties. So while we warm up the show, I'm just gonna have you guys get up in here. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So give me 1 second while I change the destination of the Rumble live stream. And then we all right. So let me just remove it and then add it again. All right, so we should be live on Rumble now. Sorry about that. We're live on X, we're live on Rumble, we're live on YouTube. What's up, people? What is good? I'm back on my daily grind. We're going back live every day. Damn it. My camera lens is kind of acting crazy, but that's cool. We'll figure that out later. Hardware issue. But anyways, we got to talk about this Tyler Perry lawsuit because there are some crazy allegations going on, and it alludes to the fact that Tyler Perry is in fact a homosexual, which is something that we all had a hunch about. But now all of the details are coming to the forefront. So you got the Shade Room reporting on Derek Dixon has filed a $260 million lawsuit against director Tyler Perry. And this Derek Dixon is, as you guys can see, some white man that he casted for his film. Alleging a series of inappropriate and harassing incidents that began in 2019. According to the lawsuit, the two met at an event where Perry reportedly singled out Dixon, took his phone number, and later cast him in a small role on the show Ruthless. In January 2020, Dixon visited Perry's Atlanta home, where after drinking excessively, he slept in a guest room. Dixon claims Perry joined him in bed, touched his thighs, and made advances, which he rejected. Despite this, Dixon alleges Perry continued to pursue him, casting him as Dale in the Oval while sending sexually suggestive texts, including inquiries about his sexual preferences and explicit propositions. The lawsuit details another alleged incident later in 2020 where Perry allegedly engaged in a sexually charged conversation, grabbed Dixon by the throat, and made provocative remarks, prompting Dixon to push him away. The suit includes years of text messages reportedly from Perry, some explicitly sexual, such as suggesting Dixon's actions implied a sexual or implied a desire for a sexual relationship. Dixon is suing for quid pro quo and workplace sexual harassment, as well as sexual assault and battery, seeking substantial damages, and he's asking for $260 million. Now, we're going to treat this man the same way we would treat a woman in this regard, coming out years later, filing civilly and not criminally. He's chasing a bag. That's just what it is. He's chasing the money of it. He's chasing the financial aspect of it, which we see and understand. But this is some gay shit, my nigga. This is some gay shit. We cannot deny that. Tyler Perry is showing his whole ass, if any of this is true. Pause. And it should be alarming that these reports are coming out. And they've released some text messages, which I actually have the full lawsuit. We'll go through that. We'll go through the full lawsuit, but it's not looking good for Tyler Perry. It is a money grab. I think the asking price is way too steep. I mean, it's absolutely insane. But it is frightening that, you know, Tyler Perry is getting Me Too. This is a staple in the Black community. And I was actually going to go live on Brittany Renner and Kevin Gates today, but the Tyler Perry story came across my timeline, and I just couldn't, I couldn't hold myself back, because this guy is a staple in the Black community, especially for the church-going folk. For the church-going folk, for grandmamas, everybody, grandmas and aunties, they love Tyler Perry. They was playing Tyler Perry movies on, you know, trips, on long drives and stuff, when you have, you know, the little TV in the car thing that they used to have, the drop-down TV. And Tyler Perry is a staple in the Black community. All right. And he's built a mega studio in Atlanta. And he's continued to expound upon what some may call his greatness. And this is starting to look like some of the fall or the downfall of his reign here as a director, as a producer, and whatnot. Because this guy is coming for it all and swinging hard. And with these text messages, he might be awarded a significant amount of money. I don't think it'll be $260 million, but I think it's going to be something, whether it be by way of a settlement or whatnot. So, first of all, we're going to figure out who the hell is Derek Dixon, because everybody knows who Tyler Perry is. And maybe people don't know who Tyler Perry is. So I'll give you a short synopsis. Tyler Perry is actually Tyler Perry is a movie producer, director, actor, or actress who starred in the movies that are centered around this fictional grandmother, if you will, Medea. Okay. And Medea is a character that he created, that he cross-dresses in. Pretty much. I mean, he's cross-dressing in the movie, playing a female role, and he popularized the Medea role, and he, you know, helped perpetuate the effeminization of Black men in Hollywood. You know, he continued that legacy with the Medea films, and a lot of people have criticism of him, but I will say the Medea movies and plays, they're hilarious. So I think there's a fine line between comedy and what people may see as a cultural, I would say, you know, something that hurts the Black culture. But I think the comedy and the overall messaging, you know, even though he was very critical of Black men in a lot of those films, he depicted Black men as being these abusive, angry, very callous, cold men. Um, so he definitely didn't help the image of black men necessarily, is especially contributing to the effeminization of black men. But it's I mean, I personally would say he is a legend. And I think a lot of people would agree. He's definitely a church legend. As I pull up his Wikipedia bio, he is a church legend for sure. Emmett Perry, aka Tyler Perry. Mabel Simmons, Medea character that he played. Let's see if they have some pictures of Medea. I got pictures of Medea in the thumbnail. Everybody, I mean, he's always been assumed to be zesty, as they would call it, LGBT homosexual, because he loved playing that Medea role. And only recently did he start playing, a man in some of his roles, which I think was interesting. But the Medea series lives on, and he still dresses up like that bitch for the plays and the movies and all that shit. So, and that suit is heavy and all that kind of stuff, but he's doing the role, and he thought it was funny, and everybody thought it was funny. It is funny. It was funny, whatever you want to call it. But at the end of the day, people are saying he's pushing an agenda, effeminization of black men agenda, homosexuality agenda, all this kind of stuff, which, I wouldn't say that they would be wrong in, let's zoom that in. I wouldn't say that they would be wrong in their assumption of or assessment of what he's doing, because he was doing some suspect shit in the Medea movies. I'm just gonna say. So that's summary of who Tyler Perry is. Now let's talk about this Derek Dixon guy, because nobody really knows who this guy is. Who is Derek Dixon? Everything to know about the actor suing Tyler Perry for $260 million. Actor Derek Dixon has found himself in a legal situation with Tyler Perry. In June 2025, Dixon filed a $260 million lawsuit against Tyler Perry and accused him of using his influence in the entertainment industry to create a coercive, sexually exploitive dynamic while he was acting on The Oval and Ruthless. Now, when it comes to this Derek Dixon guy, he's saying that he denied all of Tyler Perry's advances. So I'm not sure if he is a working homosexual or not. I don't know. But we will figure it out. We are going to read the lawsuit, and obviously it's his version of events that the lawsuit is alleging. So we'll take that with a grain of salt. But Dixon is suing the filmmaker for quid pro quo, sexual harassment, sexual battery, sexual assault, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and retaliation, among other things. Perry has denied the allegations against him through his attorney. This is an individual who got close to Tyler Perry for what now appears to be nothing more than setting up a scam. Perry's attorney, Matthew Boyd, said in a statement to ABC News, "But Tyler will not be shaken down, and we are confident these fabricated claims of harassment will fail." Okay. Keep reading to learn more about Dixon. Okay. Dixon alleged in court documents obtained by Us Weekly that he met Perry while working on an opening party for Tyler Perry Studios in Atlanta, Georgia in 2019. At the time, Dixon said he and Perry exchanged phone numbers, and the Straw director later cast him on the show Ruthless, the BET Plus show, premiered in March 2020, with season 5 premiering in August 2024. Did Tyler Perry influence the fate of Derek Dixon's character on The Oval? In his lawsuit, Dixon alleged that Perry sexually assaulted him in January 2020 and subsequently offered him a regular role on The Oval, the long-running BET drama set inside the White House. Dixon claimed that the fate of his character, Dale, hinged on his acquiescing to Perry's alleged advances. So that is very frightening as a struggling actor here, okay? Because if you're depending on your roles and you're depending on your acting gigs, and the director is basically saying, hey, fuck me, or I'm gonna cut you out of this movie, then the pressure starts to add up. Now, as a man being propositioned this by another man, I would just quit right there. But maybe this guy was really desperate. He needed the money, and he possibly could have entertained it. I don't know. Dixon claimed that the fate of his character Dale hinged on his acquiescing to Perry's alleged advances. Mr. Perry made it clear to Dixon that if Dixon ignored Perry or failed to engage with the sexual innuendos, Dixon's character would die in the next season, the lawsuit stated. Indeed, Dixon's character Dale was shot 4 times in the chest at the end of his first season on the Oval. And Perry always held this over Mr. Dixon's head, implying that Dale would survive if Dixon kept Perry happy. Now that's wild. Before landing roles with Tyler Perry Studios, Dixon reportedly studied at Marymount Manhattan College and explored theater roles in The Lion in Winter, Romeo and Juliet, and The Boys in the Band. I've always been into theater. I started as an actor, he shared with Essential Theater in 2016. As an actor, you naturally find yourself reading a lot of plays at the very least, the ones you get cash in. Does Derek Dixon have a social media presence? Although Dixon has a verified Instagram account with more than 9,000 followers, he is not the most active user. As of press time, his most recent post was in April 2024 when he shared a shot captured during a professional photo shoot in California, golden hour in Malibu, at whatever he wrote via Instagram at the time. Now they're just getting a little bit more into Daryl Dixon's background, which we don't really care much about. We care about the juicy stuff in this lawsuit. Now, Tyler Perry, and Mabel Simmons, aka Medea, have responded. Tyler Perry and Mabel Simmons, aka Medea, have responded. Okay? And this response is a strong response. It's a God-fearing response. And it's very hilarious, actually. So let's listen up to Tyler Perry, aka Medea, Mabel Simmons' response on the matter of the sexual assault and harassment allegations.
He's got the whole world in his hands. Got the whole world in his hands. Hey, I'm just sitting here on my porch just looking. What am I looking at? I'm looking to the hills from whence cometh my help. For my help, some of y'all know the rest. I just wanted to come on and just tell everybody, just be as calm as you can.
Okay, so I don't know if there's more to that video, but he starts off by singing a hymnal. He goes, he got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world in his. And then he stops abruptly. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Lord, have mercy. I mean, when a nigga starts off with a hymnal, he might be cooked. And there might be enough evidence and screenshots just in the initial lawsuit documentation itself to, at least put him on his heels. Okay? At least put him on his heels. Now, I'm trying to find the rest of this video where he was singing, because it looked like he went on after telling people not to worry, everything's going to be okay. So I'm going to try and find the rest of the video. Oh, yeah, I mean, all I'm seeing is a 28 8-second snippet. All I'm seeing is this 28-second snippet of him singing on his porch. And it's not a full video. Oh, never mind. People are saying this video of him, quote unquote, responding is actually an old video from March of 2020. Wow. And that's why maybe the Shade Room cut it off. So it looks like the Shade Room is actually participating in some journalistic misrepresentation, at the least, some fake news, which is shameful. You know, these black blogs, man, they don't care about getting it right. They care about embarrassing people and making jokes and making people look stupid and all this kind of stuff. And it is what it is, but it's very interesting situation here. So let's keep going. We have the lawsuit in tow right here in our possession for us to dissect and decipher. And y'all know I read these lawsuits very fast. This isn't the first lawsuit that we've read together. And I'm sure it won't be the last. But this one is very interesting because, I mean, it's Tyler Perry, and we've always had assumptions that he was gay and he was doing some gay shit, and he was Medea because he felt like, he was some type of, I don't know, like he liked cross-dressing. He feels like a woman. Man, I feel like a woman. Like, that's how Tyler Perry feels. And it is upsetting. So here we go. Let's get into this lawsuit. We got Derek Dixon, an individual, as a plaintiff, versus Tyler Perry, an individual, TPS production service. And this is where Tyler Perry fucked up. He involved the business with the pleasure. So now Derek has the ability to go after Tyler Perry's generational wealth and go after his companies as well, not just him as the individual Tyler Perry. So he's got his companies listed: TPS Production Services, LLC, a limited liability company, and Action LLC, a limited liability company, and Does 150 inclusive. So he's getting sued from every single angle here. And just so you guys can see that this is a legit document. All right. We got the filing time and date, 3:25 p.m., June 13, 2025. Superior Court of California. I just want to show you guys that. So y'all know I ain't capping. We read lawsuits out here. We just don't go with what the media writes and all this kind of stuff. We actually read the lawsuit and we want to know for ourselves, what is this guy alleging that our good brother Tyler Perry has been involving himself in. So plaintiff Derek Dixon files his complaint against defendant Tyler Perry, aka Emmett Perry Jr., TPS Production Services LLC, and Action LLC, alleging as follows. The following complaint is pled on information and belief. This case arises from a sustained pattern of workplace sexual harassment, assault, and retaliation perpetrated by Tyler Perry, a powerful media mogul, against plaintiff Derek Dixon, a professional actor and screenwriter. Mr. Perry is an American actor, filmmaker, and playwright who has built one of the most successful careers in the film and television industry. Mr. Perry took his success and power and used his considerable influence in the entertainment industry to create a coercive, sexually exploitative dynamic with Mr. Dixon, initially promising him career advancement and creative opportunities such as producing his pilot and casting him in his show, only to subject him to escalating sexual harassment, assault, and battery, and professional retaliation when Mr. Dixon did not reciprocate Mr. Perry's unwanted advances. These events occurred while Mr. Dixon was employed as a series regular on the Tyler Perry show, The Oval, and while Mr. Perry held direct control over his employment, compensation, and creative opportunities. Tyler Perry rose against all odds to become one of the most powerful figures in the entertainment industry. His success story, once a symbol of perseverance and self-made achievement, has now become a cautionary tale of how unchecked power, wealth, and influence can corrupt those who attain it. Among other contracts, Perry received a lucrative multi-year partnership with Oprah Winfrey Network, and his net worth tops $1.36 billion. Woo! Let's say that again. $1.36 billion. Okay? $1.36 billion. So he's getting sued for $260 million. He's worth $1.36 billion. Okay? So he's getting sued for 20% of his net worth. Embarrassing. Tyler Perry's rise to fame and fortune elevated him from a powerless victim to a figure of tremendous wealth, influence, and power, culminating in the ownership of his own film studio. Rather than using his influence responsibly, Tyler Perry has engaged in a pattern of misconduct where he exploited his position of power. Tyler Perry has been using his power and influence to molest, abuse, and sexually assault impressionable and vulnerable employees and actors who look to him for guidance and mentorship. Notice they didn't say actresses, while pursuing their dreams. Just like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Kevin Spacey, Roger Ailes, and many others in the industry. And for the record, I will say that Kevin Spacey was actually exonerated of his crimes, which is pretty concerning. And I believe someone connected to his lawsuit actually committed, or quote unquote deleted themselves. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about their brother Tyler Perry and many others in the industry. Mr. Perry's success has led him to believe that money and influence can get him whatever he wants. That belief slowly transformed into the false idea that Mr. Perry can get whomever he wants. There are things in life that money cannot buy. Mr. Perry sought the one thing his wealth and influence could not purchase: a sexual relationship with a man who would remain silent. Perry told Mr. Dixon that his ideal relationship would involve a male sexual partner who he could provide for and who would be loyal but emotionally detached. Perry told Dixon, "Whoever ends up with me is going to be a happy motherfucker." In essence, Mr. Perry desired a one-sided coercive dynamic with a subordinate, an arrangement devoid of mutual consent or emotional reciprocity. Thus began Perry's calculated pursuit of Mr. Dixon. Now, here's the thing. I don't support any homosexual relationships, but a man asking for a quote-unquote loyal, no strings attached, friends with benefits relationship, in our case from a woman, but in his case from a man, I don't see the issue with that. But I'm sure they're going to get into more of his misconduct, but I just want to let that be known. This was not Mr. Perry's first instance of sexual exploitation. He has demonstrated a troubling pattern of exploiting vulnerable male actors and employees, leveraging his industry power to create a cycle of hope and dependency. First, he offers aspiring actors the prospect of career-defining opportunities, roles that promise visibility and advancement. Then, once they are in his professional orbit, he uses the weight of his influence to ensnare them, positioning their success as contingent on meeting his demands in a quid pro quo sexual compromise. This pattern of behavior reveals a calculated use of professional power for sexual leverage. Using his influence, Mr. Perry provided vulnerable men with acting positions, roles, show contract, cars, and money. Once the object of his desire was hooked, Tyler Perry would then put them in fear of losing it all unless they engaged in Mr. Perry's perverted desire for sexual gratification. Mr. Perry would easily kill off a character in a show of an actor who failed to indulge in Perry's sexual fantasies. Now, that is outright sick. That's outright sick in the head. And I mean, Tyler Perry is a freak, y'all. Tyler Perry's a freak. I mean, look at this. I mean, zoom into it. This is what the lawsuit is alleging now. These aren't my words. This is what the lawsuit is alleging. He would easily kill off a character in a show of an actor who failed his sexual fantasies. And one thing about that is, he's probably creating a sexually charged fantasy in a way by killing off the actor in the show. I mean, this guy, if this is true, this is some sick shit, because he's killing off the actor in the show, and he's probably jerking off to the fact that not only did he have the power dynamic to kill the actor off, but it's like creating his own snuff film that he's fantasizing to and whacking off to. Pretty sick shit. Pretty sick shit. If this is true, this is all alleged. I don't want any smoke with Medea. In one such exchange, Perry stated that he could fix things because the actors of a show he was filming should all be scared because they were all shot at and we don't know who lives, meaning that Tyler Perry was going to use this as a tool to gain compliance with his desires. So they're presenting this graphic here. This is what appears to be a screenshot. It says, "But I swear to you, I know how to fix this. I love killing a motherfucker in a show that no one expects." And the reply says, "You could be sipping Mai Tais, counting coconuts right now. Think about the last episode. They are all shot at. We don't know who lives." The reply says, "Exactly. I'm scared. They should be too." No, and then Tyler Perry says, "Nope, they're not." And then the reply says, "Last I checked, we all got the same bullets in us." Okay. So it looks like, I guess this is Derek that he's texting, and he's saying, "Last time I checked, everybody should be on the chopping block. Everybody should be, I guess, unsure of their future on the show." Derek Dixon was Mr. Perry's sexual desire, or Derek Dixon was Mr. Perry's sexual desire ever since they became acquainted. Dixon was working as part of the event staff for a party hosted by Mr. Perry, and when Mr. Perry noticed him, Perry immediately offered Dixon the chance to audition for a part in one of his TV productions. Dixon agreed and was on set with Perry behind the camera for weeks in close quarters. During that time they were filming, Perry would send flirtatious text messages to Dixon. For example, in one message, Perry stated that he was jealous when he saw Dixon going on a walk with another man named Brad. And Tyler says, "Why did that photo make me jealous, you two together?" Dixon says, "Haha, I don't know. It's just Brad, LOL." Tyler replies, "LOL." And then Dixon replies, "He just wanted to go for a quick walk to get his steps in, and now I'm walking to Chipotle by myself, LOL." And then Tyler responds, "Thick Derek, get that Chipotle." I have no real reason to question the authenticity of these text messages, and they look like real screenshots. I really hope they're not, but Tyler Perry is digging a mighty deep hole for himself. I wonder what Derek responded to that. In another text message, Perry stated to Dixon, what is it going to take for you to have guiltless sex? Have y'all found that yet in therapy? You can have freedom from religious guilt and still believe in Christ. Wow. So he's trying to convince this man to participate in homosexual acts, fornicate, sodomize each other, and, he's telling them that he can still be a Christian. A disgusting perversion of the word. Here's the text. The text reads, "What is it going to take for you to have guiltless sex? Have y'all found that yet in therapy? Yes, it's the exact same kind of car, Geo Metro." Derek says, "Giving up my religious guilt, becoming a Buddhist, question mark. That's so cool. Where you come from?" Perry replies, "Unfortunately, Derek, I have friends who are in their 50s and 60s who are still dealing with that, and it's so sad. You can have freedom from religious guilt and still believe in Christ." So he is basically saying that I won't be able to have this type of guiltless sex until I give up my religious guilt, is what Derek is saying. Whew! I mean, this is getting very disgusting, and I can only imagine the type of bussy work that Tyler Perry has been doing for the past, I don't know, 20, 30 years since he's been in the industry. Plaintiff carefully navigated a friendly demeanor to prevent the loss of income and opportunity on the one hand, and on the other, a firm boundary against Perry's advances. Often when Mr. Perry started drinking, he would demand more attention from plaintiff and get more aggressive with his flirting. On one occasion when Mr. Perry was drinking, he started to become extremely annoyed. When Mr. Dixon avoided him, Mr. Perry stated that of the 600 people in his phone book, he only wanted to talk to Mr. Dixon. And here the text say, "Treat myself right. What are you doing? Derek." Like texting the nigga like a bitch. Derek. Derek responds, "Just talking to my sister." He says, "I roll. Fine. Good night. I'll go through the 600 people in my phone book and be annoyed that I don't want to talk to any of them." He says, "Trying to get off so I can go to sleep. LOL." He says, "I understand. LOL." Derek says, "LOL, apparently you're not the only one that's been drinking tonight." Tyler Perry says, "I just started." He says, "They didn't. LOL." Dixon did his best to tiptoe around Mr. Perry's sexual aggression while keeping on Mr. Perry's good side. Mr. Perry made it clear to Dixon that if Dixon ignored Perry or failed to engage with the sexual innuendos, Dixon's character would die in the next season. Indeed, Dixon's character Dale was shot 4 times in the chest at the end of his first season on the Oval, and Perry always held this over Mr. Dixon's head, implying that Dale would survive if Dixon kept Perry happy. Once Perry recognized the extent of control he had over Mr. Dixon, he escalated this behavior on multiple occasions. Mr. Perry sexually assaulted Mr. Dixon, including one instance where he forcibly pulled off Mr. Dixon's clothing, groped his buttocks, and attempted to force himself on Dixon. Mr. Dixon told a drunken Perry no and attempted to remove Mr. Perry's hands, but Mr. Perry held tightly onto Dixon's wrists. Mr. Dixon was only able to escape after de-escalating the situation by abruptly changing the subject. So Tyler Perry was pressing on strong. He was coming on strong, and he was not taking no for an answer, allegedly. Whew, this is getting absolutely disturbing. The day after the assault, Mr. Perry called and texted Mr. Dixon relentlessly saying, "Tried you, call me, and I really need to talk to you. Please call as soon as you can." Finally, when Mr. Dixon answered Tyler Perry's call, Mr. Perry profusely apologized for the sexual assault while blaming it on other things. Now, I mean, they're saying he forced himself on him and all this kind of stuff. Okay. Dixon answered Tyler Perry's call. He apologized for the sexual assault while blaming it on other things. Perry continued, he didn't know why he would do that. Maybe he was self-sabotaging. On the very same call where he apologized for the sexual assault against Dixon, Perry told Dixon, "And don't worry, we're going to do your show," referring to the pilot that Perry knew Mr. Dixon had desperately wanted to produce. Shortly thereafter, Mr. Dixon got a call from Perry's lawyer saying that Christmas had come early and that Dixon was getting a substantial raise and the show was greenlit. Perry's attorney explicitly warned Dixon not to tell any other actor on the show about Dixon's raise because no other actors were getting a raise, only Dixon. Perry kept telling Dixon that he was sorry and that the harassment would not happen again. However, the harassment and assaults continued. Mr. Perry would also try to deflect the blame for the sexual assault by saying that Dixon didn't have a strong enough no. Perry told Dixon that you have to be able to say no to propositions for sex and mean it and make it clear. Dixon did not know how to answer without facing retaliation, cancellation of his production contract, or perhaps being killed off of the show. So instead, Dixon made a joke out of the situation, stating that I only say yes to sex if it gets me an Oscar. So, I mean, it does look like Derek Dixon is playing heavily into this stuff. And it doesn't look like he's completely innocent in the matter in my from my analysis. This is some nasty shit too. But I'm trying to look at it as objectively as possible. I don't know why I keep fucking sinking in my damn chair. But the text messages reads, "Nice. Santa Monica's nice. I'm glad you're I mean, and why he's been texting this man so much, I don't know. Nice. Santa Monica is nice. I'm glad you're going out there. How is your no? Is it stronger? You got to have a strong no." He says, "Yes, it's strong. My mom literally thinks I'm going to sell my soul to the Illuminati. She heard Kanye say that it's real." He says, "Well, I don't think that, but I do think, and you have to be able to say no and mean it and make it clear." So, the Illuminati, I mean, it looks like Tyler Perry might potentially be vetting people into the Illuminati by saying, "Hey, is this guy okay with homosexual sex? If so, green light him through, let him in. If not, then no, and make it clear it's a big no." So I'll only say yes if it gets me an Oscar. And then he says, "JK, JK, I hear you." And then he said, "Well, the only one who could have gotten that for you through sex is in prison. So just stick to the no unless you are really into him." So he's referencing Harvey Weinstein. Okay. Perry reveals through the text messages that the no he was referring to was Dixon's no to sex in exchange for promotion in the industry. Classically known as quid pro quo sexual harassment. Now, I mean, when it comes to quid pro quo sexual harassment, yes, it is wrong to use your position of power for sexual favors from a subordinate. But at the end of the day, this is a common practice in Hollywood. And, you know, if one person gets in trouble for it, then all the motherfuckers need to get in trouble for it. I don't think that's happening. I don't think the trouble is being distributed fairly, but that's neither here nor there. Perry sent this message to Dixon because that is exactly what Tyler Perry was doing. At some point, Dixon left Atlanta and moved to Santa Monica to create distance from Tyler Perry. However, even at long distances, Mr. Perry continued to sexually harass Mr. Dixon. All right. So they're talking about the parties involved, ignorant of true names and capacities of defendants. All right. One, information and belief. One or more defendant is full of partial responsible. Venue and jurisdiction. So they're talking about the jurisdiction and the venue. Factual allegations. In or around September 2019, plaintiff worked for an event company called Legendary Events in Atlanta that was hired to organize defendant Perry's studio opening party. The party plaintiff was recruited by Tony Conway, the owner of Legendary Events and close friend of Tyler Perry. Mr. Conway decided to place Dixon directly in a role at a party that required frequent conversations with Tyler Perry. Defendant Perry picked plaintiff out of a crowd of employees present at the party and began asking plaintiff questions about his employment status and whether plaintiff was an actor. In or around early October and on the last day of the party, defendant Perry insisted that he and plaintiff exchanged phone numbers, and Perry subsequently texted plaintiff to introduce himself. Perry began by asking Dixon about his dreams and aspirations. Dixon told Perry that he was interested in acting and writing. Perry then told Dixon to do an audition over the phone and send it to Perry. Dixon told Perry he was at a Halloween party. Perry asked to see pictures of Dixon in costume, and Dixon complied. Gay. When Perry saw the pictures, he texted Dixon, "I was going to say, your cowboy needs a sugar daddy." Perry continued with, "You look great. You're just lacking costume parts. Sorry, don't want to offend." Dixon responded, "Not at all. It is true. Half-assed costume." To which Perry replied, "What's true? Cowboys need a sugar daddy?" Implying that Perry wanted to be Dixon's sugar daddy. Dixon quickly shut down those comments by reiterating what he said earlier, that the truth was that he was lacking costume parts. So I've yet to see Derek Dixon say, "Hey, bro, I'm not fucking gay." Like, dude, stop coming at me with this gay shit, bro. I ain't gay. Y'all got what y'all got going on in the LGBT community. Don't bring me in this shit. That's what a masculine man says. And if that man keeps persisting, then you hit him with the Denzel treatment. And I won't even play the clip from the video because it is I think he says the F word in it. But it's a funny ass clip. Matter of fact, nah, we can't play it. It's 28 seconds and copyright, they'll hit you with it for 7 seconds. Perry then told Dixon to do an audition over the phone. Costume parts. Shortly thereafter, Dixon's boss at Legendary Events called Dixon and told him that Tyler Perry was having another event in Los Angeles and specifically wanted Mr. Dixon to fly from Atlanta to Los Angeles to work on the event. Excited for the opportunity to fly to Los Angeles, Dixon was flattered and jumped on the opportunity to meet Tyler Perry again. Shortly after doing the event on November 3rd, 2019, defendant Perry sent plaintiff several text messages that he would love to find a job and change life, insisting that they should make it happen. Perry sent Dixon what turned out to be an ominous warning. "Be careful hanging around me. I cause dreamers to dream bigger. I cause them to not only believe, but do. Then let's make it happen. You're an artist. You have to be fulfilled. Nothing else will suffice." The very next day, defendant Perry sent an email which contained an offer for plaintiff play for the role Dale in Perry's television series Ruthless. Perry said it was a small role that could get a lot bigger, thereby setting up the final stage in a series of escalating quid pro quo offers. At this point, Dixon did not know that Perry was interested in men or that he was looking for a sexual relationship. Dixon assumed that Tyler Perry was genuinely a caring person who discovered the talent that Dixon always had felt. Dixon filmed his roles in Ruthless in mid-November and went back to his job as an event staff for Legendary Events. Approximately 1 month later, Perry bought and gave Dixon a new car because he hated Dixon's Jeep. Dixon was surprised and elated. Dixon had no idea that he was being set up by Perry for extreme dependence. I mean, come on, dude. The dude is buying you a car. You got a billionaire buying you a car. He ain't buying that shit for no reason. He wants some ass. In December of 2019, Dixon was requested to be a part of an event staff at another event at Perry's home in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. After that event, Perry started frequently sending text messages, making phone calls, and demanding that Dixon give Perry some attention. On New Year's Eve 2019, Tyler Perry texted Dixon, "I can't tell you the last time I pumped gas or went to the supermarket or fly commercial or packed a bag or had good sex, it was before I was rich. Dixon found these messages to be strange and untowardly coming from someone like Tyler Perry. But being new to the industry, Dixon played along by downplaying the sexual comments and hoping that being around Perry would allow him to showcase his talents as an actor and writer. Soon after Dixon began giving Perry more attention, Perry made his move on Dixon. In January of 2020, just a few months after his first action gig, Perry invited plaintiff to his home in Douglasville County, Georgia. Plaintiff showed up to the home hoping that he would be given a second chance or a chance to befriend Perry and show him how talented of an actor Dixon was. At Perry's home, Dixon was served many alcoholic drinks, with which Perry also partook in. Dixon felt that Perry was genuinely interested in Dixon's talents as an actor and writer. Perry made no sexual advances at Dixon while they were drinking, and the conversation was friendly. At the end of the night, Perry told Dixon not to drive home. Perry said it was dangerous and that Dixon was too inebriated to drive home. Dixon agreed and was escorted to a separate guest room, not knowing that this was a ruse to allow Perry to assault Dixon. Dixon was tired and did not have pajamas, so he got into bed only wearing underwear. Before he knew what was happening, Dixon felt someone else slip into bed behind him. Woo! So did he slip into him? And start rubbing Dixon's body around his inner thighs in a highly sexual and suggestive manner. Dixon turned around and saw that Tyler Perry was in bed with him. Now, was it Tyler Perry or was it Mabel Simmons, a.k.a. Medea? Was it Tyler Perry who hopped in the bed or was it Medea? Because them two different people. At this point, Dixon's stomach started to turn and he began feeling nauseous. Instinctively, Dixon jumped out of the bed and told Tyler Perry that he wasn't that sexual. Tyler Perry ignored the comments and told Dixon to turn around so Perry could see him naked in his underwear. Perry then commented on how beautiful Dixon's body was. Dixon once again told Perry that he was not into sex. Dixon kept informing Perry that he was not into sex in order to keep Perry at bay, while at the same time not insulting the person who was dangling his career in front of him. In response to Dixon's frequent assertions that Dixon was not into sex, Perry started prying further. Perry would send Dixon a text message saying, "I would hope that you would let me, or that you would let someone hold you and make love to you. You are missing the best years of your life, my friend. Trust me, I hope you get past that block in your mind soon." Perry was implying that Dixon would hopefully get past a block in his mind and would let Tyler Perry make love to him. Here's what Tyler Perry said to him. I would hope that you would love someone, or I would hope that you would let someone hold you and make love to you. You are missing the best years of your life, my friend. Trust me, I hope you get past that block in your mind. Derek replied, well, it's not this person, but yes, I want that too. I'm working on it. Therapy is helping. This dude gay as fuck that he didn't just turn Tyler Perry down and say, hey, bruh, I ain't gay. Either this dude is really gay and just like really set Tyler Perry up for the okie doke, or I don't know. After that assault in January, Dixon felt betrayed. Perry continued to call or text Dixon every day asking to talk to him more. Dixon ignored Perry, which led Perry to text him, Derek, why don't you text me more? The more Dixon ignored Perry, the more aggressive Perry became, until finally Perry offered Dixon a part in a new show called The Oval. Dixon was intrigued and was hoping that this would be the big break that he was looking for and a chance for him to display his acting talent. On February 11, 2020, Perry told Dixon to quit his job at Legendary Events and come work exclusively for Perry. Perry was not able to control Dixon so long as Dixon had a secondary income that was providing for his basic needs. Once Dixon quit his job due to his role on The Oval, Perry started getting more and more personal with Dixon, knowing that Dixon was now under his control. Perry would often say things like, I give, and no one ever does anything for me in return. No one ever gives me what I want or what I need. implying that Dixon was not giving him sex. Perry started asking Dixon and Dixon's sexual preferences and what role Dixon took on when engaging in sexual acts, whether he was a top or bottom, which in sexual terms means whether Dixon preferred to give or receive anal sex. Ugh, I mean, this is absolutely disgusting, guys. The fact that I'm reading this for you guys, y'all need to like the video, y'all need to share the video, repost this video. I don't think many people are covering this story, honestly. I really don't think many people are covering this story at all. Um, you just don't see it. You just don't see it out there. You know, nobody's really reading the lawsuit. Nobody's really breaking it down like I am. So make sure you like the video, share the video. Perry further indicated to Dixon that he had sex with men before and that he was a top. Perry further told Dixon, oh shit, hold on. Okay, so Perry further indicated to Dixon that he had sex with men before. So Tyler Perry is admitting to homosexual intercourse with men and that he was a top. Perry further told Dixon that when you have a big dick and when you hit the G spot right on these bottoms, they go crazy. Yuck. That's all I got to say. Disgusting. Perry further told the plaintiff that he wanted a man who was in a relationship with another individual, but with whom he could be emotionally involved and engage in sexual acts with, like a friends with benefits relationship, because Perry did not have time to deal with the emotional aspect of a relationship, only the physical. Despite these comments, Dixon knew that a full-throated refusal would land him in the doghouse and might result in his role being cut out of the Oval. Fearing that his career would end before it began, Dixon put up with these comments and continued to maintain that he was not the sexual type. On or around March of 2020, Dixon received the script for Oval. He was written in as a season regular, and was therefore expected to quit his job with Legendary Events. Dixon's character was written as a gay, homeless, and desperate store clerk who had to sleep with one of the other characters for a place to stay. Yo, this nigga Tyler Perry is one sick motherfucker. He's like playing out his little fantasies in these plays and films and shows that he's producing. More importantly, at the end of the season, his character would be shot 4 times in the chest. Dixon felt that this was a way for Perry to test Dixon out for a year and see if he would be loyal to Perry. When Dixon asked Perry about the shooting, Perry indicated that if Dixon did a good job, Dixon would be back, and that a shooting didn't necessarily mean that Dixon's character was out of the script for future seasons. Perry commented that Dixon's character was only shot in the chest, not in the head. Dixon immediately understood that his job security depended on his relationship with Perry. From this point on, Dixon worked with the constant fear of losing his job if he did not engage with and endure Perry's sexual harassment. Shortly after giving Dixon this news, and after telling Dixon that future seasons were dependent on Dixon doing a good job, Tyler Perry invited Dixon to his home in Atlanta. Plaintiff asked questions and tried to wiggle his way out of this invitation because he remembered what happened last time the two were alone. However, plaintiff knew that his job security, income, and livelihood depended on his attendance. Plaintiff had seen other employees of Perry's who had experienced sudden deaths on the show when they fell on Perry's bad side. In fact, Perry had made it clear to Dixon that he would often kill characters in order to get an actor to be loyal or obedient. When Dixon arrived at the house, Tyler Perry gave Dixon a warm welcome and was very friendly. Soon after, Tyler Perry started asking Dixon a slew of sexually charged questions, even asking if Dixon liked it rough in bed. Perry then physically reached out and violently grabbed Dixon's throat, attempting to physically choke Dixon, and remarked, "Wow, look how excited you just got. You do like that." Dixon was horrified, shocked, and in panic. Dixon never thought that Tyler Perry could get so violent and would place his hands on Dixon's throat in a sexually aggressive manner. Dixon did not enjoy or consent to any of this conduct. Dixon was in shock and took steps to immediately de-escalate the situation. Due to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in March 2020, filming for The Oval was postponed indefinitely. During this period in which filming for The Oval was postponed, Tyler Perry would make FaceTime calls and other contacts to Dixon almost every day, treating Dixon as his on-call pet. Dixon felt obligated to answer for fear of losing his role, income, and career. Perry often asked about Dixon or about his whereabouts, often demanding that Dixon respond immediately. When he didn't, Perry would send text messages to Dixon saying, "Derek, grr, growling, goddamn, and what are you doing?" Additionally, Perry was jealous of anyone who Dixon had a relationship with. Tyler Perry told Dixon that if Dixon got COVID-19 from his roommate at the time, Dixon would not be able to shoot The Oval. Perry encouraged Dixon to move into one of the on-set studio houses owned by Perry, where Perry would have more control over Dixon's whereabouts. Thereafter, Perry would text plaintiff and other actors on his show Ruthless. Perry told Dixon how he manipulated employees through ruthless retaliation. Perry told Dixon that if he did not like the way an actor behaved or the way the actor was acting, the character would simply die in season 2. Dixon understood that Perry was informing Dixon to be cautious about disappointing or upsetting Perry. As a result, Dixon continued to put up with Perry's suggestive messages and sexual advances while doing his best to protect himself by taking notes and amassing evidence of the sexual harassment and keeping old text messages. In one conversation on April of 2020, Perry told Dixon that Perry imagined Dixon prancing around in a cowboy outfit and that Perry did things to Dixon and that he couldn't talk with Dixon about any further because they were so wrong. In or around April of 2020, and while Dixon was living in the studio homes on set, Perry often coerced Dixon to drink alcohol and then get on the phone with Perry. Perry would frequently have someone drop off alcohol at Dixon's door. Perry would eventually turn these phone calls into sexually explicit rants. Perry would get frustrated with Dixon and tell Dixon that he was not giving Perry what he needs. Dixon's refusal to succumb to Perry's sexual advances caused Perry to be even or ever more frustrated. Eventually, Perry warned Dixon that if Dixon told his class or castmates about the harassment, Dixon would be opening himself up to lots of questions and foolishness, and demanded that Dixon not discuss any of their conversation and with his castmates. Oh, wow. God damn. So this is a very lengthy, holy shit. This is a lengthy lawsuit. And he's got a lot of screenshots and evidence. So they got different causes of action. Damn. All right, they going after him. So let me just try and skim through this because I want you guys to get all the details. But this is a fucking long ass lawsuit. I ain't gonna lie. My eyes getting tired just reading this shit. All right, Perry upped the stakes by telling Dixon point blank that he was not to tell anyone about their friendship. Perry told Dixon that it should all remain a secret and tried to make it seem like this secret was for Dixon's benefit. Perry continued to sexually harass Dixon on June 27, 2020. Defendant Perry texted Dixon that all he wanted for his birthday were biscuits and BJs, referring to blowjobs / oral sex, but that all Perry ever received were biscuits, insinuating a request for oral sex from Dixon. This text was followed by other messages calling Dixon cute, cutie, and that Perry was just thinking about Dixon. Despite these advances, Dixon continued to act professionally and continued to tell Perry he was not sexual. That seemed to be the only way of keeping Perry at bay while keeping his job. In July of 2020, Perry remarked about how much he loved the script for Dixon's television series called Losing It and exclaimed that he wanted to shoot the pilot for it. Perry would never really work toward the goal, and what Perry was really doing was making Mr. Dixon more dependent on Perry so that Perry could later extract sexual favors from Dixon as a quid pro quo to produce that pilot. In around in or around August 2020, Dixon and his classmates began shooting for the Oval after delays due to the COVID-19 pandemic, during which time all castmates and crew lived on the studio set in a quarantine bubble. So it says, listen to me. If you let the cast know that you and I have a new friendship, then you are opening yourself up to a lot of questions and foolishness. You want them to know that you are there because of your talent and not just because we have a friendship, because Tony got me to give you a job. You earn your spot like everyone else. Don't give people an opportunity to play you small or they will. I can't teach you everything, unfortunately. There are some things you'll have to learn for yourself. Because when we go back to work, I'm not going to know you. I don't have any friends that work for me, my friend. Professionalism is key. He says, Derek says, you're totally right. Tyler Perry says, I hope you get it, my friend. He says, that makes total sense. And then Tyler Perry says, just watch the behavior of everyone around me on set. And then he says, Derek says, yeah, I will. Don't want to give anyone that opportunity because work is work. All right. Let's see. All right. So the next page. Excuse me. Shortly after Perry confided in Dixon that two cast members were pissing him off and that Perry swore that he knew how to fix this shit, Perry added that he loves killing a motherfucker in a show that no one expects, that he was going to shoot them all shot and kill them motherfuckers. Sick characters, referring to killing off characters in the Oval played by actors who Perry wanted to retaliate against. More importantly, Perry stated in one text message, I may need to shoot the shoot out early, which Dixon understood to mean that unless the actors knew they were going to die and that their time on the show was over, they wouldn't change their ways. Perry was going to film the shootout early so that the actors would be more submissive to Perry's requests. Perry intentionally made these comments to instill fear in Dixon. Mr. Dixon now knew that he would lose his job if Dixon did not play ball with Perry's sexual harassment. So yeah, here's a message where he said he loves killing a motherfucker. He said, you could be sipping Mai Tais. He said, think about the last episode. They are all shot. We don't know who lives. And it says, they are stupid to think that. So stupid. I'm going to have to come to Jesus moment with them. I think I'm going to shoot them all, get shot. And then Derek says, that'll do. They'll be like, wait. And then their eyes open. And then Tyler Perry says, I may need to shoot the shoot out early. And then Derek says, like Tuesday, and he's laughing. Or maybe, okay, that Beyonce song on the loudspeaker for everyone. And then Tyler Perry says, I was just about to text you this. Okay. So basically they're saying Dixon was fully reliant on Tyler Perry for income. And then they were talking about the photo where he went on the walk with Brad, which we already covered. Was therapy helping him be more sexual? Somebody says, he said, I'm working on it. Therapy is helping. And then Tyler Perry says, no, not that person. And then Derek says, just saying. Perry goes, I feel sorry for the person that you choose. Derek says, and I won't even take an aspirin from someone anymore. Haha. I would cry if that wasn't so funny. Why? Tyler Perry says, what I mean by that is that you're so beautiful. When you finally are able to unlock your mind, you're going to make that person crazy. Right. And we just had a helping dose of it. Now it's back to nothing. It's really weird. I don't have any content. What are you talking about? I haven't been touched in months. Derek says, oh, you mean touching? I thought you meant being around people. Tyler Perry says, Jacob. And then Derek says, I love that you only say that when I'm being stupid, LOL. I guess the Jacob's dumbass version of me. And then he said, not dumbass, but blonde. So he says he's a dumb blonde. Tyler Perry sends him a picture of him on a jet ski. And then it says, nice picture. Yeah, the water does look calm. He said, nice picture. And then he said, great, amazing, awesome picture. He said, you don't see that stud in the nice picture? Rude. And then he says, LOL, yes, that's a stud. And Tyler Perry responds, asshole. And Tyler Perry said, you know what? I cook, Derek. And then dude says, spaghetti, cake. And then he said, I'm so drunk talking shit. And then Derek goes and says, I know I need to smell the roses more. Tyler Perry says, you are the rose, but you are so blocked that you refuse to be smelt or open. And then Derek says, that's sweet, and I'm working on it. Hashtag therapy. I'm really scared that I'm going to waste my life worrying. Tyler Perry says, been there, stopped somewhere in my late 30s, early 40s. So then he says, how do they make money then? Subscriptions. And then Tyler Perry says, they're talking about more business stuff. They make money from the advertising, lots of money. I love how I feel right now, but I don't like being horny, testosterone. Derek says, oh yeah, from the doctor, but it is making you feel better. He said, I feel good, but I don't like being horny. I feel sorry for the first person that flirts with me. Derek says, LOL. He said, you don't even understand. Tried you, call me. Derek says, hey, I think the hangover hit me harder than I thought. Can we talk later? Yes, it was quick, but okay. I really need to talk to you, my friend. Please call as soon as you can. Trying to do rooms on the boat. If I invite Bill, would you be okay sharing a room with him or not? Says, hey, I appreciate the invite, but I think I need some more time and don't think I can go on this trip. This one says, did you find a place? I'm good. Probably won't see me. I'll be filming. Sorry. I have my job. Whew. I did find a place, Santa Monica. I know, work too much. Nice. Santa Monica is nice. I'm glad you're going out there. How is your no? Is it stronger? You got to have a strong no. Say, yeah, strong. My mom literally thinks I'm going to join the Illuminati. So we read that one. I can call you later tomorrow sometime. Then Tyler Perry said, you have a really fresh voice and take on things, but I don't know where this is going, but I laughed the entire time. I could see the world and the characters. My exclusivity ends in 30 days. I want to take losing it out to Amazon or Netflix after that, engage their interest. But I also want to try and get you with the right people to help you make these shows work. They are not for my audience, but we need to find a home for this stuff. I don't want to miss another Schitt's Creek. You know that Eugene bought that to me first, but I didn't get it. Amen gets here tomorrow, so Amon gets here tomorrow, so he's got my full attention. I'll be trapped until the day after Christmas, so let's talk then. Derek says, wow, I was worried you'd even like it because it's a weird concept. So thank you. And then that's where the text message thread ends. I'll spare you guys on the intimate details. I'm not really into reading more of this homosexual interaction. But what I will say is Tyler Perry's in a lot. He's in deep doo-doo right here, because it does look like he was, using a power dynamic over this guy in order to keep him in films or keep him complying with what he wanted him to do. And, the community is saying they're not going to cancel him. They still love Tyler Perry. Just the system trying to take him down. But, I think Tyler Perry, we kind of all knew that Tyler Perry was gay, but it's like he's been avoiding admitting that he was gay for the longest. So now he's finally coming out, or now he's being outed rather by this lawsuit, and it's picking up steam. I don't really know how far this is going to stay in the headlines, but it's not a good look for Tyler Perry. I'm tired of reading this gay shit, and I know y'all are tired of hearing it. But tomorrow, I think I'm going to go live on Brittany Renner. I might actually go live on TikTok on Brittany Renner right now. So if you guys want to check me out on TikTok, it's Reclaim Your Throne. We're going to talk about Brittany Renner and Kevin Gates' relationship dissolving and failing. So you already know what it is. It's your boy Reclaim Your Throne. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Send your relationship request to the email down below with a screenshot of your CashApp so new opinion on time. Man, y'all already being on Murphy with the BS, and you already know. Reclaim Your Throne.
Want to become an elite level athlete? Well, look no further. The Reclaim Your Throne Elite D1 training course is all you need to take your performance from subpar to the creme de la creme of athletes all around the world. The purpose of this course is to give you a comprehensive weight training, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance program that is meant to prepare young athletes for collegiate and professional sports. This course is packed with over 2 hours of creative, action-packed lifts narrated and coached by yours truly to assure increased strength, speed, flexibility, recovery, and endurance. Hey, I get it. Training alone can be tough and can even make you feel misguided or somewhat unmotivated. But with this course, I walk you step by step through each and every lift to make sure you're using the proper form to prevent injuries and that you're hitting the correct muscle groups to render maximum results. So what are you waiting for? It's now or never. So go ahead and get the training course today so you too can reclaim your throne.